reaching out to me, asking me how things were going at the studio I was at.
Yeah, and then she kept telling me to go away. Yeah, I was like, hey, I like really could use a vocalist now. You know?
I'm Michelle Flynn. I work in sales for a technology company, and I'm a musician on the side.
What's up, guys? I'm Andy Chan. I am a startup CEO during the day, and at nighttime, music producer. And so obviously Michelle and I have known each other actually through the startup community, and then we both obviously discovered our love for like music, and so started working on a song together. And I think the point of this video was for us to kind of document a little bit of like our learnings from it. So if people are interested in the journey of becoming an artist / interested in like doing it yourself, these are kind of like top takeaways from us.
Yes, and I think the first major takeaway for me was I was under the impression, because of what some other people were saying around me, that I had to work in like a large fancy studio. Like I had to save all my money and go work in a fancy studio and spend a lot of money. And I did go down that route for I think almost a whole year.
Who do you think gave you that advice? Producers?
Yeah.
I wonder why you got that advice then. Lawyers telling you to spend more legal fees? What?
Yes. It clearly was not working out. I didn't feel like I was working on the type of music I wanted to be working on. I didn't feel like I was growing vocally. And it just felt like it was a big time waster. It just wasn't working out. Not that can't make sense at some point, but when starting out, I think you really want to start small, which is something that being in the startup community we talk a lot about. Like when you're building a service or product, you want to start small with limited risk to see if it's really working.
Right.
So you kept reaching out to me, asking me how things were going at the studio I was at.
Yeah, and then she kept telling me to go away. Yeah, I was like, hey, I like really could use a vocalist now. Tracks that just need vocals, and she's like, this guy has a studio and shit like stuff. What do you have? I'm like, I have a laptop.
And
I have the heart and I drive.
I will admit, because I think I apologized to you for this. I said,
I mean, you don't need to. Yeah.
I said I was so sorry because I should have been working with Andy from the beginning, and I was hesitant to start working with you because I had just had a bad experience with a producer.
Right.
That I really wasn't trusting any other producers, but decided to just finally give it a chance one Saturday, and in our first Saturday production, we almost completed writing an entire song.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I think we got a lot of the outline of like what we wanted to do done. Yeah. And then after that was a lot of experimentation on like you finding your voice, me learning really how to work with vocal on the production side. So yeah.
And in that time of exploration, Andy and I just kept sharing, we kept sharing songs that we liked. And I think that helped us to get some clarity with what kind of song we wanted to write, what we wanted it to feel like.
Yeah.
And the best part in all of this is, from a financial perspective, neither one of us had to spend a whole lot.
Speak for yourself. No, okay, yeah, no, we didn't. Yeah, if anything, it was just a big time commitment. Obviously, thanks for you, like, driving down, like, was it 30 minutes to, like, my place so that we could, like, record, so
Yes. Even on the technology end, maybe we could save this for another video, but on the technology end...
Can you swap?
Yes, I'm getting tired, yeah. On the tech end, you did not have to invest in much, is the short story, and...
Yeah. I think the difference for me, at least, was because I built up the studio for years.
Yes.
So like I got like Ableton was the first thing that I got, which is just a recording and like music production platform.
Yep.
And then obviously I started investing in speakers, and I invested in the audio interface, and it like wasn't like a huge like upfront investment. It was just that slow trickle.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, so all together, if you were to buy it all up front, yeah, that would be quite expensive, but I accumulated that in the last like 3 years almost.
Yes.
So yeah.
And for me, but I think just beyond the gas mileage, I did take a couple vocal lessons with a pop vocal teacher based in LA because I was having a hard
Fancy.
time finding one here in Pittsburgh.
Definitely. And I think that was a big part of your artist exploration was like
Yes.
creating your sound.
Yes.
That was a big part.
Yeah.
And for me, learning how to use a vocabulary to speak to vocalists.
Oh,
That was a big part.
Oh,
yeah.
that was a really great learning experience because sometimes certain words meant different to us. Like, what does the word warmth mean? What does color mean? What does vibey mean? All that.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think, yeah, and I was like, like even we were talking about like a really concrete tip that I would now have for like anyone working with vocalists / producers. It's like we used to record a section, a snippet of the song, then play it back, and then listen to like what we need to change, then do it again and again. And then what we found out that was much faster to do is like literally taking like 5-6 recordings just straight through. Like record once, pause, reloop, record second time, and you just keep recording it, and then you play back all 6 at one time, and then you can hear the differences. Like, hey, this one was good for these reasons. The tone was good. Maybe this one the pitch was slightly off, or something like that, and then it gives you a lot more feedback to go into the next cycle of recordings.
And the great thing too, while working together, was we were kind of on the same level when it came to, okay, how do we distribute the music? I think we'd both admit had little knowledge on that.
Definitely.
And it was definitely a new space for us. And so we were able to explore it together and kind of make mistakes, but also learn things from other people in our network. And I actually would encourage other people to do that, to definitely like work with a friend, work with somebody that's at the same level as you, because you'll also figure out how to be on top of trends. Because I think the issue with producers I'd worked with in the past is they were maybe a little outdated, and so they were not even really familiar with the distribution channels that we ended up going with.
True, yeah. I think they were more in the impression that you had to sign with like a label and distribute it through your label and stuff, versus like being independent like artists these days. So you can use, like, we use DistroKid, distribute our original song.
Yes.
And it handles all the distribution rights, and it does like the revenue share and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. And I think number one lesson is to have fun in the process too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think when you're having fun when we're like literally trapped in the studio for like 8-10 hours.
Yeah, that
right?
too.
Like literally we start in the morning and it's already nighttime. And then by the time we like call it a day, it's like midnight. It's like
and everybody's coming over for the party, and you're like, listen to what we
exactly.
today,
Yeah,
guys.
it's like a straight up work day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except it's not really. Yeah, it's like it doesn't feel like work. It's fun. So I think that's when you know you're doing something you love.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. We hope that this was helpful to you in your journey with making music.